So maybe the first thing to say is that compared to other types of innovation that were mentioned this morning a lot by Wallis and all the apart maybe from Jan Rat, even though many were combining different types of innovation. If we focus on social innovation, the main thing is the difference is the primary goal, which is to create some positive social change. And what is important here is to understand that it's the primary goal. That means that compared to, it's the last born in the innovation family. Tech and economic innovations were really hegemonic in the 90s. What is different here is that it's a primary goal. The other ones can deliver positive social outcomes, but it's kind of incidentally done. A technology, a new technology, some innovation, we all have that in our house, mobile phones, cars, our work every day. They do provide some social change, not always positive, but it's a secondary effect. And in the case of social innovation, it's really the main and the primary goal, and it's a clear intended purpose. It's not a side effect. And you heard through the different presentations and projects that more and more types of innovations are combined. What is interesting here, I think, is to see that social innovation can drive the other types of innovation. Of course, they are not opposed. And many examples were given this morning showing that digital innovation, technological innovation, are very useful, but in that case, they are kind of, driven by this social goal. And that makes the whole difference in terms of the outcomes, because it's not productivity, economic growth. This is also very valuable, but here we're talking about the positive change for people. So the first thing, as you all know, starts by addressing a new or an unsatisfied social challenge, social needs. Basically, you face something which is new and you've got no solution, and that's the root for any innovation. And in the case of social innovation, social needs can be very different. It can be a lack of jobs, lack of skills, lack of trainings. Basically, it affects the living and working conditions of people. And from that very basic root, which is the starting point, a social need that is not satisfied by the market or the public sector alone, there's a new solution which is developed and implemented. And it can be a product, a service, a model, as you heard this morning. Many examples were given, and you will have projects after which will show you the type of social new solutions that you can have. In the Plan Einstein, for instance, it was really interesting to see that the social needs were both the integration of migrants, but at the same time to support the integration of the Dutch youngsters and to avoid tension and conflicts in the community, to create a community which is cohesive and inclusive and peacefully live and work together. So they developed together this solution, and you saw that there were buildings, there were new services like training, activities provided, new spaces, and that is done. And that is really a key point for us today in a collaborative way. You don't make social innovation alone behind your screen. Even if someone has the first idea, it always involves a wide range of stakeholders, public, private sector, civil society organizations. As Antonella was saying, this is key for social innovation, and you need this wide range of stakeholders to build an integrated and complete answer. And what is also really key in social innovation is that you include the beneficiaries, you include the end users, the ones who are facing those needs and will benefit from the solution. And that's really, really important, and it's sometimes quite challenging. When you social innovation is a kind of adventure. You're creating something new, you don't really know where you are, there are risks, you're not sure that the solution is going to work and work better than the existing ones. Therefore, you start small, but you have in mind already the idea that if your small solution works well, it would be great that it's expanded at the level of the needs, at the scale of the needs. You start with a small pilot or a small initiative, but you want all these benefits to be shared with other people, other organizations who are facing the same needs. That means that you need to evaluate, assess your results, which is also really challenging social innovation, in order to demonstrate that your solution is working well and to adapt if needed, and it's often the case. And the ultimate goal of this evaluation is that to expand your solution, whether you transfer it to other contexts, another territory, another group of person, you have a project working with disabled people, but the solution can be then transferred to another group of people, maybe the young needs, or maybe the homelessness, to transfer the solution or to upscale and mainstream impact on policy making. And that was also shown in the Plan Einstein. They managed to impact on the local and national policy in the Netherlands. To do that, you need to prove that your solution is working well. That's the importance of the evaluation. So you test and you evaluate, and I don't see the bottom of my screen, before you extend and transfer the solution. So I was short on social innovation. I know that some of you are very, very knowledgeable about social innovation as well, others a bit less maybe. So we can all discuss about that. What is important now is what we understand by community-led social innovation. And our understanding is that it's really important because social innovation provides actually prove to be efficient to provide new solutions, not only tech, not only eco, but really to improve the well-being of people, their living and working conditions where they are. And what we think, and as you saw, the needs and the solutions are very context specific. And it's that community-led projects help ensure that these innovative solutions fit the real context and solve their actual problems. And everybody stressed the bottom-up approach, which is actually key, because you can have the best idea in the world as a researcher or whatever, because you identified some needs. If you don't kind of validate this with the people who are facing the needs and ask to them, is that the real need? Is the solution we envisage the right one? If you don't involve them, when the case is that it doesn't come from them, then you might actually miss the point, create something which is innovative but doesn't really solve their problem. So it's quite obvious that they need to be involved. And I think it's obvious for everybody, but it's not easy. So it will be interesting with the two project presentation to see how in projects, when it doesn't come from the community itself, the local communities and the local groups of actors can be better involved and empowered, because that's another key word. So to wrap up, community-led social innovation is from the community, ideally initiated, led by them. And that's the case for the LAGs and the leader approach. But in other cases, it's not always the case. And it's for the community. The benefits are for the community. So here I'm trying to hide to see my screen fully. I made a little scheme to sum up our vision of community-led social innovation that we can discuss, and I would be really happy. And the 4 is yours. It's really your space, as it was repeated several times, to know if that is the scope you also envisage, what are the challenges you see behind, what the things, what you want to discuss in this context. So you've got those sort of social challenges, poverty and employment, migration, lack of skills, of affordable housing, actually really impacting negatively a local community. And what is important is that this local community intervenes in a way or another strongly at all steps to identify the social needs, to co-create the innovative solutions, as well as in the evaluation, and to validate that the results are positive for them, or if it needs some. I see someone has raised the hands, and I'm moving. No, not anymore. So that was very brief. It was really to set the scene and to really kind of give a focus on social innovation and community-led innovation. It's not always easy, because we know that there are, someone mentioned it in the chat, the top-down and the bottom-up approaches can also meet, and you've got more and more calls for proposals and support programs giving funding. And ESF Plus was not mentioned this morning, but it's the case actually. Therefore, there's an incentive which is given that helps boosting and emerging social innovation, improving the number and the quality. So even if there's an incentive and if it does not come from the community, as it will be the case in the two examples we show, it's really important that there are active actors empowered in these local partnerships.